What if a Tea Partier said it? That story topping tonight's 2-minute drill. Scoring tonight, we have small business owner Jen Groover, Penn Financial President Matt McCall, Tea Party 365 founder David Webb, and last but certainly not least, Fox News contributor Leslie Marshall. All right, they voted to strike down collective bargaining. Right now, state police are confirming to Fox that those Republican Wisconsin senators are the targets of death threats. One email to those senators reads, "Put your things in order because you will be killed and your families will also be killed due to your actions in the last 8 weeks. I hope you have a good time in hell." So the president has spoken a lot about the attack on the unions, but not anything about this.
Oh, certainly. And remember the beer summit. I don't have all the facts, but let me comment on the Cambridge Police Department. Look, this is the new civility that we've always gotten from union thugs, from those on the left that believe that they can get away with anything. And the real crime here, the media that's not reporting this, which, by the way, this is a threat by law.
All right, Leslie, if the president has time to come to the aid of the unions, why not to the aid of people being threatened?
Well, I think he is, actually, David. I mean, after Tucson, he made it very clear that we need to change our language. A threat to anyone's life from the left or the right is wrong.
Come on, what about now?
I mean, there was a specific comment that he made about the unions in Wisconsin. No specificity about people's lives being threatened.
But, David, where was the outrage when there were Democrats being threatened after voting for health care reform? This is wrong from either side.
I'll answer the outrage, Leslie. It came from me. It came from the Tea Party saying this is not civil.
It is an outrage on either side that people would get this aggressive over something that needs to be communicated and talked through. To have death threats of people is completely, it's not going to do anything other than really keep people from voicing opinions that need to be out there.
So, Matt, should the president say something?
Absolutely. He's a president of the United States. This is getting out of hand. It's not getting any better. So somebody has to put this fire out, and that's his job.
All right. Well, the New York Times claiming that a $3.57 a gallon gas is not enough to derail the economic recovery. But when gas prices spiked during the Bush administration, the same newspaper editorialized that this was very worrisome indeed. So do soaring gas prices matter, or does it just depend who's in the White House, Leslie?
Well, I don't think it depends who's in the White House. I think it depends how prepared we are. And I think the fact is we're more prepared now for this increase than we were during the Bush administration.
How so?
So I don't think it's politics.
How are we more prepared?
I mean, first of all, this is more forecasted. We see what's going on the news. In Libya, we saw what happened in Egypt. And I think Americans, because they've been through it before, I know for me, are more prepared when we go to the pumps to put aside extra money when we say that this is happening. We know that although it will slow it down, it won't derail the progress.
Do you feel better prepared, Jen?
No, not at all. I think we're in a worse state because people have been out of work for years. People have lost their business. Small business owners. For me to ship products, it costs me more money to ship them to get from A to B, and I have to take that cost on because my customers don't want to take it on because I can't raise my prices. So this is affecting not only unemployment, it's affecting directly small business owners and for the people that are trying to get jobs still, to get from A to B to try and do interviews. It's not helping them.
Could it derail the recovery?
It could derail the recovery, not because it costs you that much more per month. $1 rise in per gallon, only about $50 a month per family. But what it does, but it's psychologically. Psychologically, they see that go up and they start spending less, and that derails the retail sector, which then blows up the entire economy.
All right, moving on. House Republicans pushing through a bill killing a foreclosure program. Now, the program helps people who want to refinance homes that are underwater or worth less than they paid for them. The White House says they're going to veto the Republican bill, but isn't government intervention in housing exactly why we're in this mess to begin with, Jen?
Well, people being homeless is not productive for the economy at all either. There needs to be some sort of bill passed that allows people to get through these tough times but not be homeless. And I know people get outraged because the people who have been able to pay their mortgage this whole time say, well, that's not fair to me. It's really not. But people being homeless and on the street and then attacking and doing things that they wouldn't do for survival is not productive either.
People, what Jen is saying is this should be part of our safety net. What do you think, Matt?
No, because a lot of these people got into their homes and took more risks than I did when I purchased my home, and they were greedy. They wanted to get a bigger home that they can afford. Now my taxpayer money is paying for
Jen
them.
is protesting quickly.
Because that's not true. A lot of people were. Don't get me wrong. A lot of people were. However, there's a lot of people who, I had 1,000 boutiques distributing my products. Only about 1/3 of them or less still exist today. Those were hardworking people who lost not just their jobs, they lost their company that their house was tied to. And so there are a lot of...
That's Darwinism, survival of the fittest. There's too many.
David.
When you individualize it, it sounds really emotional. Let's look at the aggregate effect. If we don't have a floor, we'll never get a bounce back in the housing market. We cannot continue to have a soft landing. We will never get a recovery. And overall, that'll actually put more people out of homes.
Leslie, go ahead.
Well, if you don't want to pay for them to stay in their homes, I guess you want to pay for them on welfare or something later. Some of these people have lost their jobs. I agree with Jen. Some of these people in my neighborhood, every other home was either foreclosed or they had a short sale, which made my value go way down. So it's not always irresponsible lenders. It's not always irresponsible people borrowing the money.
All right. Well, what this segment shows is that the ladies are sweet and sensitive and the guys are hard. That's the bottom line. Coming up on